And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say it
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by the teammates every week. It's just terrible.
DeLeone and Sean Anderson, 2 former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. Today we're talking about a shocking quote from Travis Hunter talking about what would happen if he couldn't play both positions, wide receiver and cornerback in the NFL. We're also going to talk about the last-second workout scheduled between the New York Giants and star quarterback Shedeur Sanders from Colorado. We're then going to move on to trade, not rumors, but speculation, expectation for Jalen Ramsey, who is expected to be moved from the Miami Dolphins. And we're going to round things out talking about a controversy for a baseball sideline reporter that is under fire for something that he did at a game. Before we get there, Sean, can you share with our listeners a word from our friends over at MyBookie?
MyBookie is the betting platform that all listeners of Hack City should be using. Joe, our illustrious NBA bettor, are we close to the NBA playoffs? I'm not sure, honestly.
Well, the play-ins literally happened.
Okay, so we're technically in the playoffs?
Yeah, we're in the playoffs. We need Orlando at the time of recording this or doing this live. We need Orlando to cover -5.
Okay, gotcha. Sounds good.
So that's what we took.
So we're in.
Yeah, we're in.
So do your NBA playoff betting at MyBookie.
Yes.
Use promo code MM50. Deposit any amount, $50 up to $2,000. Get half matched instantly. That's promo code MM50. No waiting, and you don't need to bet to receive it. Just bonus cash right away. If you got reads on the playoffs, if you're one of these guys that watches regular season NBA basketball, I saw Joe swallow that mouthwash every single night watching a regular season NBA basketball like a trooper, and now he can make some money at MyBookie. Use promo code MM50. Get all the benefits. Why not?
I watched some awful, stupid NBA games. There were a lot of times where I'd be out places and I'd have my phone out where there were no TVs, and I'd be watching Sixers Celtics, and people would be like, "Hey man, what you doing there? You're watching a little regular season NBA?" And I said, "Yeah, man, this is a good game. This is an important game. This is a really competitive game." And it'd be like Cavs up by 30 on the Knicks.
Yeah, here's
make sure the bet goes through.
The problem is you said Sixers Celtics, and my dumb brain thinks, oh, that would be a good game. I know players on both teams, but the Sixers are just wretched this year.
Absolutely.
They've been wretched for a while. So it's all just ugliness, but I appreciate you keeping at least this apartment up to date and privy to all NBA news.
Sean, this quote from Travis Hunter was really shocking that came out today. He spoke with CBS Sports' Garrett Podell about playing both sides of the football in the NFL. In the article that was released by CBS Sports, it was highlighted that apparently the NFL has been very positive about him playing both sides of the football. So sounds like a very strong chance that he does. But Hunter went on to say that if he doesn't get to play both sides, he wouldn't play football. He straight up wouldn't play football. And it wasn't I'm just not that into it. It was him straight up saying, I love football so much, if I don't get to play both sides, I wouldn't want to be a part of this. The full quote was, because I've been doing it my whole life and love being on the football field, I feel like I could dominate on each side of the ball, so I really enjoy doing it. First of all, do you think that this is a bit of an extreme response if a team did tell him at a certain point, hey, man, you can't play both sides?
It would be an extreme response. It wouldn't be an extreme response for the NFL team. This is an extreme response from Travis Hunter. I am team Travis Hunter here, certainly. I hope he does tell his team to go shove it. I hope a team drafts him and they say, you're not going to be able to play both sides of the field. He holds out. I root for that because I want more Travis Hunter on the football field. Mm-hmm. Everybody should. He's such a unique, distinctive talent to the game that could make an impact. He's already got name recognition, and we want less of him on the off chance he gets hurt. And I'm a realist. I will listen and understand the takes of reps and stamina and usage and the wear and tear of bodies in the NFL. The guy's different. He is different. This is how he plays. Take a stand, Travis Hunter. I'm fully rooting for it. An NFL team, one of the 32, will let you play both sides, and you both will get your way.
So the first part about this that I just asked you, is this a little bit of an extreme response? And I do think that this is an extreme response.
Yes.
I am a very big fan of Travis Hunter. I really liked watching him play. I think that if he lands in the right market, he's going to go from exciting multi-use player to superstar that is one of the most recognized athletes in all of sports worldwide. He has that ability. He has that personality. He checks every single box to become that much of a phenomenon. I don't like that this is where his head is at, though. I kind of always live by the belief of a player should always prioritize the needs of a team. I also sit in the camp that I'm not certain that it's capably possible. DeLeone Sanders made a statement about this not that long ago, and it was brought in this article that he said in the NFL it's going to be easier because the game's slower. There's a lot more time between plays. Everybody's huddling. There's none of that up-tempo BS that he saw this year in the Big 12. Even with the game slowed down, it's a longer season. If the team he plays for goes to a playoff, there's a chance that goes to the playoffs. There's a chance that it ends up being a 20-game season where he's playing both sides of the ball, where he's withstanding hits on both sides of the ball. And I also more firmly am worried, is he able to prepare to play both sides at a high level? That's what the biggest separation point, if you ask anyone who's played in the NFL, and if you even ask anyone who's made the jump from, high school to college, the ability to know how to play the game and have the intelligence and the preparation is what separates a group of guys that are great athletes that go on to become all pros. There's a reason why a lot of guys get lost in the sauce, because they don't put the time and the preparation in. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't do so and try to. I think that there's just literally not enough time in the day for him to effectively prepare.
I'm going to learn you up on why he can, and that's because I've sat in on special teams meetings that you were historically a part of a lot more special teams meetings.
What's this got to do with anything?
But the offense and defense, when you are committed to learning your position, that means you have to learn every other position in your unit, and conversely, every other position on the other side of the field, as well as your own. You don't come in and say, you only have to learn tackle. So I'm going to tell you, Travis Hunter, if he's sitting in an offensive room, he's going to know everything about the defense. And if he's sitting in a defensive room, he's going to know everything about how the offense operates.
What is this implication that you're saying that at Rhode Island they had you in cornerback meetings? I don't understand what you're saying.
But you understand what a cornerback is going to be doing on every single play. I'm just saying.
Wait, of course, though, but I'm talking about like game planning, knowing the tendencies and the expectation of what the opponents that you're going up against are going to do. There's just too much. You already have a short amount of time in a week, not to mention if there's a turnaround where they're playing a Thursday night game, there's not enough time to be able to prepare scouting reports for the receivers he would face at corner and the corners he's going to face at receiver. I just think at a certain point it comes full head and one thing needs to be picked.
He'll be just fine. It doesn't need to be picked. He will be certainly just fine, because at this early stage of his career, his talent and explosiveness will carry the brunt of the load. And as he continues to evolve in the NFL, where it becomes his full-time job, and he doesn't have to deal with class, real or fake, or in-person class or online class, however they do it, that is a ton of time off of your shoulders. So Travis Hunter has also never shown me anything where he wouldn't be prepared for football, where he wouldn't
That's
be.
That's not what I'm saying. I don't think that he could naturally go out. Well, yeah, they could.
They could baby him and have a, hey, okay, Travis, this is your signal guy. You look
yes.
over. You don't have to know all this. Just be Travis Hunter.
That's what Colorado did this year. That's what Colorado did this year, where they signaled in routes that he was going to be running. This is why I think that he should play corner and occasionally play some receiver, like rotate in for certain series, is that if that's how you go about it, he just needs to know certain route concepts, and for certain packages that he's in there for, he's being motioned, he's getting a signal, and he's being told, this is what you're running on this particular play.
Sure.
I'm just trying to get out when we get to the very detailed nuance of being able to dominate at both positions, of him just being more than just being really good at both and actually living up to the expectation and the potential that he has. I think that he is capable of being elite at one position. but it's hard to be great at both things.
He could be
this
great
isn't
at both.
baseball.
This
isn't baseball.
You're absolutely right in what would be the smartest way to use him if we're being judicious with snaps and understanding how he's going to be impacted in the game. But he's not going to go like that. He just won't. It won't. It's never enough touches. It's never enough touches for wide receivers. It's never enough targets for wide receivers who that's their only position. So if we're thinking that he gets 3 catches in a game and he wants 6, and he only got to play 12 snaps, well, he's going to want to play the other 50 snaps that you're getting on offense.
I think he's going to play more than 12 snaps. I think that, say there's 60, 70 defensive plays. That's on the lower end. 80 defensive plays in the game. No, it's on the high
70
end.
and 70.
Okay,
basically.
70 and 70. Say 70 defensive, plays pretty much all the defensive snaps, and 30 to 40 offensive. That I think would be more realistically possible. But 70 and 71 feels like a lot. And then 2, I don't think it's possible to go through that total wear and tear of an entire season. He hasn't gotten banged up, God forbid. I worry what happens once he starts to actually get hit by some big body guys in the NFL.
The NFL, grown-ass men whose job it is to, or it used to be to inflict pain, and now it's just to make the sure tackle.
Patty cake.
Yeah, the patty cake. But I think that he will be just fine. I want to see him burn the candle at both ends right from the get-go, and let it. Then we'll just decide. We'll figure it out.
I'm fine with that angle. And that's what I want. I want him to go in, see what you're able to do, and then let's make the decision. I'm against completely you have to play this position from the jump. I think that whatever team takes him should have that approach, and whatever team takes him is probably going to be shit. So you have the ability to just let him go out there and play and learn and have fun.
He's also one of these guys where the general rules don't apply to him. Shaquille O'Neal told a story about, or he was asked about the hazing process in the NBA. And he said, hazing? I never got hazed. I was brought in here to save this franchise. I was the leader when I walked onto that team. And granted, it's basketball. It's 12 players to a team. It's different than football where it's 53 players.
Right.
And you're a rookie and you're still not a grown man, no matter how grown you think you are as a 22-year-old entering the NFL. Let me know when the 28-year-old bodybuilder running a 4.4, when he hits you and you really thumps you, let me know if you thought you were grown at 22.
Yeah.
So I get that side of things, but Travis Hunter is coming into the NFL with his own set of rules, and that's what I would support it. He is one of these truly lightning in a bottle guys. I just got lightning in a bottle. I just found it. But lightning in a bottle guys where you have to respect it. You sent me that, by the way, the lightning in a bottle, the Key and Peele.
Oh,
yeah, you sent me that. I literally was playing to an audience of one.
I already got that. That is such a good Key and Peele skit. I don't know, before we move on to the next topic, I don't know why, and I like that my TikTok feed and my X feed is just like old Key and Peele skits. That's a good algorithm.
Yeah,
the algorithm's working in my favor. That's mostly what I'm getting instead of the just total nonsense AI baked crap that's being produced by most people.
The brilliance of that show is that if you just
such a good show,
different skits will hit you at different points in life. Like I didn't think the Morty Jebsen show with Young Business was laugh out loud funny when I was 17. And it's my favorite Key and Peele skit of all time.
And like the
call a FUBA.
The East-West game one's not as funny in hindsight.
Right.
I think that one's everybody ran that joke into the ground. It's like, okay, all right.
It happens, but there's so much, it's such a rich vein
that
you could always go back to it and find something. We're just glazing. I'll glaze.
Basically, it's the off season. God, this magic bed is just looking so beautiful right now. So glad that I took it. I'm so glad though that we get to talk about melon here for a quick second, Sean. Today I went for a walk and it was awfully windy and my melon hat got blown off my head and I sprinted as fast as I could to track this thing down. All I can think in my head is, one, how silly it would be to show up on the show and be like, I lost the hat. And second of all, this is one of the nicest hats I've ever owned. The more that I wear it, the more durable I realize it is. It would have ruined my day if I had to email Cam and say, hey, I need another hat because the New Jersey wind is just too aggressive near the water.
Ruin your day. That would have made my day because I would have said, get Sean another one. Yeah, why not? I'd like to have 2 in rotation, please, Cam.
No, they're fantastic hats. I'm excited to wear it. We're going golfing this Saturday. I'm excited to see the real durability test of getting through the sweat. It's going to be nice and warm, 70 degrees. I have been so happy, and it all goes because of the fact that these hats are built to last 5 times longer than any other hat. It's my new favorite hat, and I've been wearing it so much since I've got it. And the other part, it's even better that there's so many different options that you can look for on their website. There are hats that are built for the cold. There's hats that are built for when it's a little bit warmer out. Don't worry, Melon has you covered in any type of weather condition. They have a full thermal collection with different levels of warmth to keep you on the go this winter, and also others for the upcoming spring and summer. So if you're looking for a hat that is as tough as you, check out Melon. You won't wear anything else after you get one for yourself. It's, I almost read suggested CTA on there. If you're looking for the world's most durable hat, look no further. Go to melon.com. It's melin.com and put it to test. Put it to the test yourself. Oh, I'm the one who.
Yeah.
That's
you see, that's how it works. Yeah.
I'm leading the show.
You want me
I
to
don't
get
like
us into
doing
to the Giants? I can do that.
No.
A little breather.
I did need a little bit of a breath. I'm so used to Blake doing the read and then me being set up by him in the next way through. There's a lot of things going on here. Yesterday night, Sean, news came out. Adam Schefter reported that Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders is holding a last private workout this Thursday in Boulder, Colorado, for a contingent of officials from the New York Giants. Some final intrigue leading into next week's NFL draft in Green Bay was the final part of his tweet. And certainly there is intrigue here, Sean, because I think a lot of people were starting to think, oh, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston is who the Giants are going to roll with. This seems like a pretty strong indicator that the Giants, one, maybe believe the Browns are not going with Shedeur Sanders, and two, that the Giants are making a strong decision on if they're going to go with him or not.
What are you guys doing, dude?
What do you mean?
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
This is a false front. This is an eminence front. It's a put on. This feels like, hey, now the Giants are interested for Shedeur. They might have been thinking about trading back anyways, trying to get some other sucker to come up and take some bait. If he falls, he won't fall. That would be ridiculous. It would be absurd. I'm tired of hearing the Shedeur could fall out of the top 10. Not happening.
I still don't buy that. I think that's a bunch of crap.
I think it's all crap around Shedeur Sanders. I don't think he gets out of the top 3. I think that you guys are dicking around. And this is...
Well, we've always been dicking around, so that's not a hot take, nor was that a creative one, but continue.
This is just like lame last-minute due diligence, just so your front office
is unique.
could like...
How often do you have a invite to travel to across the country? He's traveling all the way to Colorado. They are traveling all the way to Colorado for this workout. This isn't like, oh, hey, we're going to fly out Shedeur for one more instance to see him. They're going to Colorado to go see him across the country.
You guys are a clown show, though. This would be vastly different if it was Arizona going to check on Shedeur. That would have real implications because they have a starting quarterback that they've paid that isn't a total joke. Like your two starting quarterbacks, I love Jameis, I love Russell Wilson in his own way. You guys don't know what you're doing. So this is like, might as well.
A lot of aspersions to be cast from a Falcons fan.
We got our quarterback of the future.
Yeah, but like your front office has made strong decisions over the past decade.
We'll get to them. They have. I'm sorry, they traded up to get Julio Jones. I'm sure that was a bad decision.
You can name plenty. We drafted Malik Neighbors. That doesn't mean that makes up for Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal and Daniel Jones and Kadarius Toney and all the other messed up shit shows that have occurred.
This feels like New York, just like, we have free will. Why not? You're just testing it out because you can. I think maybe some of your guys just wanted to go hit the slopes before it got too warm in the Rocky Mountains. It doesn't make sense. They're not getting Shedeur. I don't even know if you want to get Shedeur anymore. It became, we've seen the sweepstakes that the Giants have been in for Shedeur and then Cam Ward and then Shedeur. They're out on both. They signed Jameis. Okay, what does that mean? They signed Russ. What does that mean? Now you got two quarterbacks. They're a mess. The idea that they are going out to Colorado with any sense of direction and with any plan or pitch or contingency of if this happens, then we are taking you approach. I'm lost. It doesn't calculate for me seeing how they've operated.
I don't think, as you're trying to imply here, that this is some sort of chess move that they're trying to create some late in. That's what you're saying.
I
You're
would
correct
never
that
imply that the Giants are trying to play chess.
Right. I don't think that
they're playing checkers with Ritz crackers. That's what they're doing.
I don't think Joe Shane is creative enough to try and pull something off like this, nor do I think that he is in a position of power at the current moment to be trying to manipulate everybody around him. He is desperately trying to hang on to anything to keep him afloat, him and Dayball, especially after the damn videos or the clips that came out during Hard Knocks that really called into question his capability of putting together a good team. I argue that the Abdul Carter buzz that has come in the past week and a half, where they brought him on a visit, and that's currently the big wave where everyone thinks they're putting together the Strahan, Osi Umenyiora, Matthias Kiwanuka unit, or the Carl Banks, oh my God,
Lawrence
Taylor unit that had all of those great pass rushers. God, I'm a Giants fan. I'm such an asshole. They have done this in the past, and I was on with Bob Papa today on the Believe show that I do on
very nice
Tuesdays and Thursdays. You have two New Jersey Italians. We were chopping it up.
Well, and Bob is.
Screw you. Screw you.
What?
Screw you.
Come on.
We were talking about that.
Tweet today.
We were talking about it was a shit sandwich. We were talking. Stop distracting. Let me get to my point. We were talking about that, and I think that there is a possibility for the Giants, who have always been defensively oriented, to think Abdul Carter makes sense. But I feel as though the recent interest in him is more so to motivate New England, if the Giants miss out on Shedeur, to trade up, because New England badly wants a big-time playmaker like Abdul Carter. I think that they are now of the belief that they don't think that the Browns are going to take Shedeur Sanders, which has been the overall recent buzz, and the Giants want to make for absolute certain if that's going to be their guy. They're not going to this workout if they are slightly considering it. This is a final, clear last date before you make that final decision on if you want to make him your girlfriend or not.
They should have.
That's a weird way of framing it, but you know what I meant.
They should have just swung already. They just should have done it. They should have
swung.
They should have just got around Cleveland. They all this nonsense.
They
just
can't
get around.
go around giving up capital to move up.
They don't have anything. So why wouldn't
exactly my point. They don't have shit to give up. They can't be giving stuff up.
They've got nothing.
They stink.
They've got nothing to lose, everything to gain. They stink. You're right.
No. If anything, they have everything to lose and nothing to gain.
How do you lose nothing? How does that happen?
Robbers
would walk into the Giants building and say, "You're struggling enough. We'll cut you some slack. Do you need some walking around cash?" That's what the Robbers would do. Also, you were right about the cheese on the sandwich. The cheese didn't look good.
Yeah, it looked unappetizing. It was some cheap, crappy provolone.
That was the worst
Midwestern-looking Italian sub I've ever seen in my life.
You don't need that much cheese on an Italian sandwich, and it messes with the ratio.
It looked like cheap, awful. I should have.
It looked like rubbery. And I'm not.
The sopressata, the salami did not. It looked like cheap deli quality, like boar's head crap. Not the real Italian sopressata. A real Italian sub's got mozzarella. It's got salami and some type of sopressata. I'm not going with the freaking cheap, slimy provolone and not enough lettuce or bread on that sandwich. The way that it was set up.
Let it be known. Sesame roll, love it.
That didn't look like a good sesame roll, I tell you that much.
But too much meat, and I've never met an Italian sandwich that I didn't want to stick it in. And just because, I have to validate that it's not like I wouldn't, but you were right that there's too much meat in the sandwich. Just have a nice balance. Everyone just thinks slapping a big hunk of meat in the middle of some thin bread is what people are looking for.
Well,
how about some Italian bread that doesn't feel like I'm chewing on Legos when I bite into it? Can I get a little give? What is that with you guys?
You guys, what? You haven't had the right Italian sandwiches then. If
Venti has the right bread, they got good bread. Sesame roll.
Which one's Venti?
It's the one right over there in Jersey City. I don't know why I'm pointing my thumb like it's in the exact direction, but yeah,
I couldn't tell you where. I couldn't tell you where that is. No, it's that way.
That way. Yeah.
That way?
Yes, that way. That's where it is. They have the right bread. That's fine with
Which
me.
one's Venti? I've never been there.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Where is it?
In Jersey City. I don't know.
Thanks. Real helpful.
I haven't been there and walked into the brick and mortar. Could be an IHOP ghost kitchen. I don't care. They're doing it right.
Could you imagine?
Dude,
It's a Chuck E. Cheese ghost kitchen.
They're all IHOP, by the way. All the ghost
Yes.
kitchens. It's
Yeah.
very frustrating. I'm sitting here like, I'm eating IHOP. This is a disaster.
Well, when you order the NASCAR, the NASCAR sponsored burger, I don't know what you're expecting. Like, oh, what do you mean this isn't from an actual restaurant? This is made in a commercial kitchen?
In Virginia, there was this breakfast burrito spot, and every time you got it, it's like, oh, this is goddamn IHOP. This stinks. I hated it. I couldn't.
Why did you
stand
keep
it.
ordering from there? You
They
just
had
keep
no
getting
delivery
got
fee.
from them?
It was great.
Oh,
They had no
no.
delivery fee. They were quick.
Keep getting
It
got.
sucked.
They're fucking getting bamboozled. Maybe the Dolphins could bamboozle some people with a trade here. News broke today that they are seeking to trade former star cornerback Jalen Ramsey. Chris Greer said on Tuesday in a press conference. The current corner room does not look great. They just signed Artie Burns, a former first rounder who's been extremely underwhelming. They also have Ethan Bonner, Storm Duck, Jason Maitre.
Let's go with that.
I couldn't even tell you who that is. And they also have Cam Smith on the roster. So there's really not a lot of good options if they do end up moving Jalen Ramsey. There's now the question of where does he land? Moving him makes sense. He's on the very end of his career. He's been inconsistently available due to injury. And when you got an older corner that keeps getting hurt, it calls into question if it's worthy keeping the guy around, especially for how much they're paying him. Now, one thing that I found super interesting, though, Sean, that I saw on Twitter today was something that was pointed out by Steve Weish. Steve Weish tweeted, "Can't stop thinking about how much Falcons head coach, then Rams DC Raheem Morris and Jalen Ramsey told me of their admiration for one another and about a potential move to safety for Ramsey as his career went on. Ramsey has told me how much he respects Hall of Fame corner/safety Charles Woodson and his versatility and modeled his game somewhat after Woodson." So you as the Falcons fan, what do you think of that?
Get on that phone, Terry.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to be this gung-ho
Terry,
about it.
get on that phone. Give me a 30-year-old Jalen Ramsey out of a clown show operation into a also clown show operation, but with a guy that he likes. Give me Jalen Ramsey converting to safety because he's an instinctual, cracked defensive back. He just is. He can tackle. He can cover. Let him just roam. Let him be Jalen Ramsey he doesn't need to be the ultra ego. Let me go on the outside and shut down your number one guy. That is past. But what you can do is be a part of the greatest safety backfield in the NFL this year. Him and Jesse Bates would knock it out of the park. And Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons played fairly well together last year, but Justin Simmons took a staggering step back. I wouldn't be opposed to them re-signing him, but it wasn't enough for me to say, all right, let's give him 3 years, $30 million. Jalen Ramsey, I'll take a shot at that gamble of him being a great safety. Let him be fresh. He doesn't need to keep up and run with the Xavier Worthies that are just going to burn him. Let him play over the top. It could work. This is like one of the few hypotheticals and Steve Weish painted it in a very good way. Like he just set it up where it all worked, point A to point B, but this would help the team. It helps the defensive backs. You don't have to draft 2 of them this year. You could just go and spend that first pick on a defensive lineman, second and third picks on defensive backs. Let those 2 battle it out for that CB2 spot. And then you're actually cooking with gas on the defensive backfield to make up for the shoddy craftsmanship of the defensive line and pass rush. The only way you're going to get sacks is with coverage sacks in Atlanta. So why not go all in on the coverage? This would help them. It would garner more sacks if you have guys that are shutting down the receivers. I love the possibility. This is the last time I've been a little tingly, or the first time in a while that I've been a little tingly about a potential move. I'll get on the phone, Terry, for a bunch of dudes. This one could be special.
I think that the angle of this is the most intriguing because, like, who's really in the market for a consistently banged up 30-year-old cornerback? I think that there's not many corners who can do this. If there's a guy who is natural to just playing football enough to make that transition where he's just playing in space and he is playing alongside Jesse Bates, I can see that totally working. I could see him being a great safety. I really like that thought process of being willing to carve a different role. And right now, this Falcons defense desperately needs veteran leadership. They stink. They're inconsistent. Their secondary is pretty good, but imagine throwing in somebody who's been around as long as Jalen Ramsey has been, and he's been on premier dominant teams throughout his career. He's been on an elite Jaguars team, an elite Rams team, and a good Dolphins team.
He hung out in Miami.
Yeah, he hung out in Miami.
Why not?
I just wonder, like, what's realistically the ceiling, though, for this? Do we actually think that he still has more gas in the tank? I feel like a lot of corners, it's one position where you hit 30 and you just collapse.
Ceiling for this is he wins 3 games for the Atlanta Falcons. He wins 3 games with crucial fourth quarter turnovers forced. He wins games with an incredible pass breakup at the end of a game. This is the ceiling. The floor, Jalen Ramsey just got burned over the top and he had no clue. He got turned around and it's his first or his second game playing safety and a great receiver got the better of him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just going to happen naturally. So I'm not even looking at the floor side of things. Ceiling, I'm thinking if AJ Terrell can seal you 1 win, Jesse Bates gets you 3, and Jalen Ramsey gets you 3 just on standalone effort and whatever analytic these dorks want to put on to the player's impact on win, that's 7 wins from 3 players that are premier defenders in the backfield. I will happily take that. I will happily let Troy Anderson go out and have a phenomenal game, have a knee bruise, and be out for 4 weeks. I will happily watch the interior defensive line get carved up and watch teams run for 6 yards a clip. But when the fourth quarter comes along, and if it's a close game, the other team not being able to air it out as confidently, I love that. Conversely, how do you keep a team from airing it out? What do the Chiefs do? Send the house with a good pass rush and get the quarterback flustered. Don't give them time. So there will be issues. The Falcons won't make the playoffs this year. It'll be another disaster, but they could be better.
2 off dome. Actually, I got 3 off dome random pitches here. Washington Commanders with that same light of moving into safety because right now the Commanders, he wouldn't start a corner because they got Mikey Sanders still and they have Marshawn Lattimore, but Quan Martin, he could start over Quan Martin at free safety. I think that would work, assuming that he's able to make that transition.
Martin's okay, but Jalen Ramsey's Jalen Ramsey.
Right, he's Jalen Ramsey if he can play to that potential that we're talking about. The other one, Baltimore Ravens, is just, I feel like any good player that was once an all-pro just decides to say, you know what, I need one more go. And then he just suits up in the purple and black. That would be
who's stopping this Ravens team this year?
Worst
the Chiefs will.
Possible
will.
ending to this whole thing where it'd be like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, the rich keep getting richer, and I love watching the Ravens, and it's just the typical path for any guy that they end up just landing in Baltimore. That would be the perfectly toxic way for things to finish out. And the other one, Vikings need some corner help, and it's kind of like Xavier Rhodes where they brought him in for the end of his career.
Closed.
Yeah, and the end of his career was kind of, okay. But we end up here with this possibility of bringing in Ramsey, and they need a little bit of corner help. They've been a team that's been projected to add a corner in the first round, so that maybe that's one for consideration.
Dan Quinn could get real creative with him. He got creative with Jeremy Chin this past season, and Jeremy Chin has had a very interesting career with his usage. I think he just ended up being a little too big for safety and too small for linebacker, but just enough on that line where he could play safety. Dan Quinn loves those guys. Dan Quinn loves a project. He loves a great athlete. He loves an instinctual athlete, especially on the defensive side. That would work. The Ravens shout is impeccable. You've outdone yourself on that one. I'll give you credit. I could totally see Jalen Ramsey looking super swaggy in the purple and black. Week 1, fire me up. Get ready. He gets burned. Ravens get booted in the second round, and we're all happy.
Crazy,
we're all happy to go on the ride.
Don't put them on that.
I love going on that Ravens ride every year. Don't you? The Ravens are great because they make the regular season exciting. They are an exciting regular season team, and we shouldn't take that for granted. They are a good team that doesn't slop it up. They're a good team that can put up a lot of points, and their in-division matchups are always fun. So I enjoy, while I don't root for the Ravens actively, I enjoy what they bring to the table as a product every single season. Adding Jalen Ramsey, that helps.
All right, Sean, let's move on to Down Bad Dudes. This week we've got a bit of an interesting one, and it's a little bit more of a spin because this isn't truly a Down Bad Dudes. Yesterday, during a Braves Blue Jays broadcast, a sideline reporter, Wiley Ballard, that's his name?
Yep.
Wiley Ballard of the Braves FanDuel Sports Network, their local RSN. During the broadcast, he found two young blonde girls that were in the stands, looked like they're in their late 20s, around his same age range. And he approached them, and him and the broadcast guys in the booth were kind of yucking it up. The girls seemed like they were not uncomfortable with the situation, and they were laughing about it, giving him a hard time. He took that as an opportunity to get one of their phone numbers. That has led to, I thought, when I saw that clip, I didn't even watch the whole thing, and I was like, oh, this is corny as shit. That was my only reaction. I was like, great, this is corny and stupid. And then today I started seeing tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet of people saying, this is so inappropriate. I can't believe that he did this. It was probably, I had to go back and rewatch it. I'm like, what, did he say something? Did I miss something? It was one of the weirdest things to be outraged by. And it's just 2025 in a nutshell, Sean, that there is reaction to something like this when there's nothing there. He wasn't catcalling them.
Yeah.
He wasn't making inappropriate comments or maybe playing telephone with the guys in the booth and repeating things that they were saying. The guys in the booth weren't saying things that were inappropriate that the girls couldn't hear. There wasn't anything going on that was truly in an uncomfortable circumstance. It looked like just a simple interaction. And the girl actually gave him his phone number. And just like any time when you go out to a bar, when your buddy asks for a girl's phone number, there's a good chance that number's fucking fake.
Yeah.
So this is where we are with this. I'm so stunned that people are upset over this. And I'm trying my hardest not to play into the opposite side of this, which is idiots are outraged. So now I'm outraged by the outrage. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out that I think that this was a little odd today, and this caught your attention, and you're the one who wanted to bring it up.
It did. This, I'm glad I've had a little bit of time in actual sports talk to cool off a little bit, because this is going to be an industry rant and not a Wiley Ballard rant. And to add more context, he was at the Corona Club or section or in stadium bar doing a little spot to get a break in the middle of the game. And
the Braves stink and they're playing the Blue Jays.
And one of the broadcaster, he started off with a joke. You come here often because they're at an in-ballpark bar. Corny, that's literally a nothing burger.
Yes.
And then the guys in the booth played into that a little bit and said, well, we got 4 innings. Try to get the digits. Yuck, yuck, yuck. He says, okay, look at this funny little pickup line. It's working. And he jokes about the implication of, the guy told me to get a number. So let me get your number. And the response of double standards and the response of if the roles were reversed and this was a woman reporter to a male reporter,
I don't even want to really dig. I don't even really want to dig that far. I just think that anyone who finds an angle to think that something like this was an inappropriate action for him to do, a young sideline report. He looks like he's our age, in our mid-20s. Probably was one of his first TV gigs that he's been granted, and he's being encouraged to do something fun. Clearly, these people that are complaining about this, by the way, haven't watched baseball to know that they just do stupid shit during these broadcasts. And there's a lot worse things that have happened during these broadcasts that have gone unnoticed and unrecognized.
That's what I'm trying to get at here, is that it was a bit, and I just was shocked at how soft so many people were in this industry where everyone loves talking about grinders. Everyone likes talking about the hours and how much work you have to put in and how hard it is. Nikki Lattarulo posted a reel the other day about her having to cover the Mets or the Yankees, whichever is on SNY. And they were playing Mets. The Mets out were in Oakland or Sacramento where they're playing. So she had to work until like 3 a.m. doing post-game and writing scripts and all of that. Like, you see the work, you see this. Where's the complaints? Real grinders are real grinders, and people that want to get on a pedestal and act like entitled, soft victims, like working in sports isn't a dream, or that working in sports can be so awful, or that you are so handcuffed in the position that you're in, or could possibly hypothetically be in if anybody invited you to do a bit or be conversational outside of reading the script that you had prepared. That's outrageous to me. It's outrageous to see like the fallout of how inappropriate this is, and that the ethics police and HR has completely intruded the sports world, and now nothing can fly. And sports media used to be 3 dudes at a table smoking a cigar and given the breakdown. That's what it used to be. It's opened up with limitless possibilities and potential and jobs. It is a living, breathing ecosystem, and the people in it treat it like it's goddamn HR and not supposed to be a fun thing. That irritates me. It really does, because it shows me that they're just spoiled and they're entitled and they're not getting the attention that they want to.
The complaining about something as simple as this is why a lot of people feel that there is a general disconnect from, regardless of gender, race, or anything. A lot of people believe that there's a disconnect from the big name personalities at the big name networks that don't have to fight for the attention and the recognition. That's what a lot of the people that were weighing in on this were, that had problems with it. They were people that are established and have been there were a lot of ESPN folks I saw weighed in on this that I was like, really? Like, but my whole point is that people today feel more connected with the average YouTube streamer or the average not TikToker, but like the average actual independent content creator than they typically do with an individual who is working at one of these propped up companies where they have a multitude of resources to support them and to market and broadcast them. Them complaining about something as simple as this only continues to play into that. And if you can't see that why a lot of folks that just want to watch the game and something goofy like this pops up on the screen and happens during a ball game in between things happening, to not allow for entertainment to come from that when the angle that was brought up is so unrelated. No one in their right mind was even thinking about that. My final thought on this, I would understand if people were upset if what Ballard did visibly made them uncomfortable, or if he did or said something that was not appropriate for TV, the conversation would be completely different. But nothing he did crossed any lines. Nothing he did is deemed wrong or something that should not be. You're coached up to go and do something spontaneous and fun. That was spontaneous and fun. Last actually bit that I have with this, we wonder why. This is totally unrelated to sports. We wonder why everybody talks about that there's like a male loneliness epidemic. Like he was on TV asking for a girl's phone number.
He was asked to ask for a girl's number, and he did it. And
what do you think happens when we go out to the bars? Dude. I don't need to do this, but I watch my buddies do it all the time. It feels like a deer in headlights. I watch you do it, and I egg you on to do it all the time because it's funny. But you're constantly worried about getting criticized for just the act of approaching a girl.
It's become a bother because there's a million eyes on you at all times. If somebody just decides to pull out their phone and you're a big fat idiot at the bar trying to talk to an 8, and then someone, Cream Pie Jones or whatever burner name is on Twitter, takes a video of that, then you got everybody on you. Everybody's calling you some type of name. And I've gone on Jags. Maybe I don't know if it was on this show or on different shows. I've gone on Jags about sports have got too inclusive, especially the NFL. Just too inclusive. And it was never about like actual demographics. But the one demographic is the HR crew.
Dustin's correct, by the way. Continue.
The ethics police, the people that don't get sports and don't really like sports, that want to work in sports, and they have an avenue, they have an in, they figure it out, so be it. But the people that come in and just start trying to police every little thing, make it about them, find some issue, it's just irritating. If you obviously don't like it, get out. No one's keeping you here, but something brought you here. If something brought you to work in the sports media industry, then try to enjoy it. And try not to make everything a live or die HR matter that sounds like the most hideous, irritating email that you could fathom, because they did a 1 minute and 10-second bit during an April baseball game on a regional TV network. And it's become a massive controversy within the world. Give me a break. Go get a life and learn how the industry works.
Right.
It's the industry. Holy hell. You think me and Joe don't have skinny? You think we don't have dirt, not even on other people, but on ourselves? Everything.
You have dirt.
I got dirt on you.
What?
Oh, I got plenty. I'll give you some skinny after this show.
I haven't done anything. What are you talking about?
Oh, don't worry, pal. You're safe. I got you.
I have remained behaved. What do you think?
I got you. I'm saying that I got you.
Screw you.
You're all good.
The only skinny that you've got is that I mistreat you. That's what it is.
You're skinny. I know that.
Yeah, screw you.
How about that?
Hackbag time 201-834-4308. Do we have any voicemails?
Let's get to the intro first, please.
Okay.
The Hackbag, you can call in 201.
I'm going to ask every single time.
834-4308.
Boys, this is
Oh God, wrong production. We do have a. You know what? I botched it. That's on me. Hand up accountountability.
We'll start.
We'll go right
We'll
to the.
start.
We're going right to the voicemail. I stink on ice.
Schlager with Bear Claw Media. I'm the host of the podcast for everything Northern Colorado Bear Sports. Question for you guys. UNC football has been terrible since moving up to D1. We've had 2 winning seasons since 2006, and those were rough. It was 6-5, not exactly winning at all. Never won a conference ever. We also have Coach Lamb. He took Southern Utah from worst to first, but that's not happening so far. Any advice, and what do you think the UNC Bears should do to get back into the winning column, if ever be competitive in the Big Sky? Thanks, guys.
Okay, first step, you're going to pay $4 million to Nico Iamaleava to come play for your program. The second step, you're going to find the richest billionaire that you – wait, let's start looking at their alumni list.
Winning season this year will be tough. Colorado State, loss. South Dakota, loss. Houston Christian, toss-up. Idaho State, likely a loss. But I'll put that in toss-up category. Idaho, Sac State, UC Davis, Montana State, Northern Arizona, EWU, Portland State. You could be coming out of the season with 2 to 3 wins, honestly. You do well, maybe a 5-win season.
There is a living American billionaire, Patricia Stryker, billionaire business person, philanthropist, and political activist who is a alumni of Northern Colorado. Yeah, pick up the phone. That would help. I'm sorry to be that direct, but you have a billionaire. Most schools don't have a billionaire. A lot of schools don't have that. You have that on the table.
That's because the billionaires, they drop out of college, Joe.
That's true.
That's what we've learned so far. Yeah, go ahead. You're going to have to work some NIL. You're going to have to work some collective.
Ed Warder went to Northern Colorado.
That is it's a tough spot to be. I'm not going to hold you. Being a bad team right now in the FCS is a tough spot to be because with the transfer portal openings, your best player on that bad team in the FCS probably isn't even getting up to the P4. They're probably just going to a better FCS team before they go to a G5 team. So it's going to be a real uphill climb. We've seen dark horse teams come out of nowhere and really be strong. Northern Colorado, I don't believe is that. We're going to pull for you, though, since you left us such a nice voicemail.
Yeah, that was a great voicemail. I would start reaching. I would email Pat Stryker every single week.
Dustin Helton, worst bid of all time, 201-834-4308. Man, I should have called in.
Oh, Dustin, boo!
Worst bid ever. Please call.
Should have called ahead of time.
God.
The president of the University
What does that do for – why comment that, Justin? That's just – he finds a way. I can't believe it. I'm yelling at Dustin Helton again. I love Dustin Helton.
The president of the University of Guam from 1977 to 1983 went to Northern Colorado, if anybody was wondering. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I mean, you got a billionaire. I think that's the biggest.
The president of the University of Guam.
Yeah, that caught my eye for some reason.
President of Guam. Maybe we got to,
I don't think they have presidents at Guam.
Do they have football in Guam?
I don't know.
See if the University of Guam's got a football team.
I'd root for them. Last question that we're going to get to. We had 2 write-ins from Sunday. Jamie asks, give me your thoughts on Ovi breaking the all-time NHL goals scored record. I mean, it was, I don't want to say it was bound to be broken.
Oh, is the Caps fan starting this one off?
I'm not letting you start this one off. I'm not going to say it was bound to be broken because Gretzky's record was insane. But Ovi was one of those guys who never got hurt and just kept playing. I wonder if he's going to retire now. I don't know why. It's like kind of like a big meh for me.
That's crazy. Best goal scorer ever, undoubtedly. Wayne Gretzky.
Well, quite
still
literally,
holds.
he owns the record. But Wayne Gretzky was a better hockey player.
Yeah, he is the points record, the assist record. He's just nuts. That dude is just nuts. I know hockey is elevated a lot in the equipment side of things. That Ovi wasn't shooting around with the stick, and he had the tech, and he had the plastic, and the carbon, and the fiber. All that stuff. It helps.
The carbon and the fiber,
both of them, Joe. And
not singularly.
Dude, no, they took the carbon and they took the fiber and they said, Ovi, put them together and score some goals. And you know what? He did. It's been a treat watching Alex Ovechkin as a Caps fan for my entire life, I guess, watching hockey. He's been on the team. And as of note, he is probably the best DC athlete of my lifetime to date. Really not a problematic guy, athlete. Everyone has complimentary things to say about Ovi. People that I know that have met Ovi said he's a gentleman. They said he's an ox. I like that he drinks. I like that he seems like a real guy. I like that his kid is going to be a hockey prodigy. Like, there's just so many things to like about this team. And Ovi specifically, all the years where they were so good and he was just putting up huge numbers, led to disappointing exit, bunch of nonsense. He won a Stanley Cup. He's got the all-time record. This isn't a LeBron Jordan situation. It's just acknowledging a phenomenal athlete that I was privileged to watch in person many times and currently own a Alex Ovechkin jersey, which I will bury me in it. Why not? So my burial now is
you want me to change all your suits?
Extendo coffin. Maybe I'll wear the Ovi jersey underneath. That's going to be tough. Man, you know what? Actually, just put me in a full Ovi uniform at one point.
Oh, full pads?
We're
not going to find pads that fit you.
We'll scrap one of the 4 suits, and then at one point in the wake, I'll just be in a full hockey jersey, Alex Ovechkin.
I'm going to dump you in the nearest river.
I want my shoes to have his yellow laces also. That's going to be a mandatory need because or else I just look like a dickhead in a coffin.
I'm going to dump you in the most shallow lake that I can find because I want somebody to find you.
What does that do? What does that do for anything?
I think it'd be a good bit. So some poor kid's going to freak out. We're going to drop you in the middle of it, and then at a certain point, you're going to float to the top.
If you're going to dump me in a lake, please do it in a deep one so I could feed a big fish, and that big fish
No, I want you to scare people.
Record.
I want you to scare people.
The fish that feeds off of me and my bones and my flesh, my immense flesh, will become a monster, and that person will have their life changed and immortalized.
I might just kill all of them.
What, that fish?
Yeah, we kill all the fish.
My body would kill the fish. No.
The lake.
They'd love that. Those fish would love eating me. They would love it. I'd be like one of the. You know what? You could actually catch a world record catfish the day that you sunk me down.
I'm down to try that. I'm down to test this.
It would be like these. We're on fishing again.
No! Ending the show.
It would be like these fishermen that know where the whale carcasses are going down. And that feeding frenzy at the bottom attracts all the big dogs.
There's nothing I hate more than talking about
whale
fishing
carcass
than you talking about fishing.
So if you drop me down, there's going to be a stir that day. You could catch a big dog coming to get me, and then the subsequent big dog that feasts on me will be another world record, maybe in a year.
I'm asking you to go back and watch just my face during that segment.
I did.
You watched my face during that segment?
It wasn't pleasant.
Yeah.
It's actually...
I was uncomfortable.
How could you be uncomfortable?
I was uncomfortable.
I'm sending you... I sent you some fishing content today.
I didn't watch it.
Bass fisherman doesn't have time for a Make-A-Wish kid?
Nope.
I'm sure. Sounds like a bass fisherman. I'm ashamed of other bass fishermen.
None of this makes sense to me. I don't know who the good and the bad in this situation is.
I'm the good because I like all fish.
What are you?
A fisherman. I'm an angler. That's what I am. Don't
call
me...
bait is what you are.
Don't... I'm an angler. I am not one of these dudes.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I understand when like random dorks are at a party and they don't know anything about sports, and you're just you're sitting there yammering about football the whole time, and then that person's like, annoyed that you're talking about football.
Well, well-rounded individuals like myself can speak on multiple topics that
it's the only that and soccer are the two things that I refuse to learn or be able to talk about.
Soccer's tough.
Soccer's awful.
I know enough about
Soccer's
soccer.
Awful.
It's just I don't care. I never will care.
It's boring and awful.
It's boring. It's awful. I've suffered through it. I've sat in it. It's not for me.
You sat in soccer.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of a field.
I've just sat in the soccer atmosphere and having people try to sell me on it for years. No, this is the soccer fans. And this is actually Sam, who you've met, has said this on multiple occasions. This is like the Super Bowl of the Premier League season.
And it happens like 4 times.
It happened. They have 4 Super Bowl games where everything is getting decided throughout a season. Then you can't call it the Super Bowl then, brother. You can't do it. It sucks. You can't have multiple Super Bowls. You can have one most important game of the year, not this other nonsense.
I remember when was it the World Cup that happened recently? Like back when we had the now non-existent Believe offices, everybody was like dropping everything that they were doing to sit there and rally around the TVs to watch it. And I was sitting there working. I'm like, none of what's happening right now registers with me.
Did I tell you what I did during that? It was that. So it was the Messi World Cup where it was like it went to penalty kicks and Argentina won it. There were 6 dudes in my house locked in on the TV, ready, cheering loudly.
That's a go to another
TV on full blast.
That's a go to another.
I was on the sunbed on the other side of the room taking a nap just because I didn't want to watch. I was so bored. I got up from the couch and went to a little like that piece of couch right there.
Yeah.
And I just hung my legs off the side of it. I went to sleep for about an hour and a half. It was great. I didn't know what happened to the game. I didn't care. I think I was the only one on planet Earth.
If I have kids, obviously if they're boys, they're not playing football. I need to figure out a sport if I have daughters, what they're going to play in.
Why aren't your kids playing football?
No, they are playing football.
Oh, you said that. Oh,
I meant to say that they would play football. They're not playing soccer is what I meant to say. But I need to figure out if I had daughters, what they would play in the spring or in the fall.
Softball. It's fun to watch.
No, in the fall.
Oh.
What did your sisters play in the fall?
One of them golfed her senior year. They didn't.
In the fall?
Yeah, they could have played.
Which one golfed?
Scarlett.
Huh.
Yeah. She just had fun. It was dick around golf. It was great. I think she had a blast. But they were so committed to softball that my mom, a former college volleyball player,
they didn't want to do volleyball.
They wanted to do volleyball. They
always weren't allowed to. It's not wait, hold on. That's not like some football thing where it's like, oh, I suffered too many injuries playing football. You're not playing football.
It wasn't for that, though.
I had too many concussions.
It was for the commitment.
It
was for the a year-round. Both of them had a year-round commitment to softball. That's what you got to do to be a college softball player. Both
of your sisters are some of the most tall athletic freaks that I have known that are women. You tell me they could have just showed up.
My sisters freaks.
Yeah. You tell me they could have just showed up and for the volleyball games and not gone to the practices.
They probably could have.
I'm sure that the coach would have been ecstatic.
Oh, dude, it was every
that's
day.
like seeing the 6'6" kid walking in the halls and being like, "Hey, man, why aren't you playing football? Could you just show up? We'll just throw you balls in the back of the end zone."
So I did senior year with basketball, but they played basketball in the winter and stuff like that. But
yeah,
if they wanted to play softball in college, which both of them did, they couldn't be 3 sports.
Okay, so
they had travel because they did travel softball in the fall.
Okay, so that's good. Okay, here's the point though.
They did travel softball in Jersey in the fall. They were driving up.
I remember you told me about that. They were doing it in Madison. You told me that because I don't know. It stuck with me because
I know. Remember? I don't even
because I know where because I've been to Madison. I used to go to Madison all the time for shit. It's a very common place to have to go for sports stuff. So like I don't know why that's stuck in my head. You're like, oh, I had to go to Madison, New Jersey. I'm like, oh, I know Madison, New Jersey very well. But I think you're on I will not remember. You could tell me the most important thing about your life, and I will not remember it.
So how did you? That's nice. Information. Hey, that's a nice thing to say.
That piece of information. That piece of information that's not useful at all. I'm absolutely going to latch on.
That was 6 years ago.
Exactly my point.
One time,
I have the most useless memory possible. I can't remember the games that I played in, but I could remember what number players wore in college and what years they played. Okay, but my point is that if we're trying to figure out, because I think you agree with me here, you don't want to watch your daughters have to play soccer. What are we doing here? How do we get ourselves out of this? Because I would, if my daughters say that they want to play soccer, I'm telling them that's great. I'm not showing up.
Yeah, here's the thing.
I'm gonna be a great dad.
Field hockey isn't terrible. Women's lacrosse
Seems
tough.
kind of stupid.
I played
women's lacrosse. I'm good with, but that's in the spring.
Women's lacrosse, I'm not good with that much because it's not that it's not physical. It's just kind of running and passing. They're not really checking each other until college. Odds are
you're still not really checking in college.
Yeah, exactly. You're still not really checking in college. I'd rather them bowl. That'd be awesome. Go to the lanes, watch them bowl, cheer them on, or golf.
Come on, we gotta have higher aspirations, higher athletic aspirations. I guess there's not a lot of fall cross country.
I guess it's all
the best option.
It's gonna be softball. I don't know if I have a daughter, she's probably gonna have a rocket launcher arm. So we're gonna focus on that. I might have her throwing the javelin.
Dustin says volleyball. He's bringing volleyball back up. Your kids will be tall enough to do volleyball. Mm-hmm. My kids will not be tall enough to do volleyball.
Yes, they could. There's a position in volleyball where you can be short. It's the I don't know. It's like the center position.
My shit stumpy kids are not going to be.
They'd be perfect to be a setter. You basically. All they're doing is squatting.
You don't even know my kids. I haven't had them yet, and you're assuming that they're going to be.
They're going to be nice and squatty and Italian with big shoulders and squinty eyes. So they're going to be just right there in the middle, just tracking athletic position, set up, manager. They're like the quarterback of volleyball. All the big trees in the front are just big trees, and the people in the back are serving experts, and they're good at just getting the ball in recovery back to the trees up front. You need that quarterback in the middle, a little shorter, manages everything.
I don't have faith that my non-existent daughter is going to be able to do this. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, call in with the hack bag. Thank you for the question that we got this week, 201-834-4308. Call in with your questions, and we will be back on Thursday at 8.